Spy Family episode 30. You know, if there's an episode about Yor, I'm going to cover it. I don't do impressions for every episode because most of them are kind of just goofy. But yeah, when we start getting to Yor, when Yor gets an actual episode where she actually gets to do something like her job, I'm going to cover it. But no, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, I'm very of mixed minds here, and this is mostly the reason for the video itself is, of course, with episode 30, we get Yor gets a new job where she has to go out and protect essentially the last remaining members of a family that has been all but killed. They're part of a mob family, and everybody's dead except for the mother and the son. And Yor is supposed to protect, not kill, and she's supposed to get them across the board to another country so they can basically be safe. Now, the interesting thing that came from this episode is there's so much emphasis on Yor essentially deciding that she doesn't want to be an assassin anymore. And it makes perfect sense. I mean, I honestly, jokes aside, I never thought about this. And this is obviously attributed to the fact that this series is pretty much a comedy routine. This whole thing, Spy Family, is a comedy routine. It's got the wholesome aspect of a family, of course, the aspect of two people that have never had a family coming together, having a family, and at some point struggling between job and family. Those two aspects are always present throughout the series. But because that is the shtick, because the shtick is Anya knows what the other two are thinking, Lloyd is hiding the fact that he's a spy, Yor is hiding the fact that she's an assassin, but Anya in the middle knows what the two are. That's the joke. Now, the problem that creates is this idea of wondering if there's ever going to be a point in which this can actually go into character development and changes in a dynamic way. And yes, this episode brings up the question, could Yor ever stop being an assassin? Could the writer allow Yor to give up being an assassin? It's a very good question mark because, again, that would take away what makes her unique for the shtick of the series. Not that it makes her no longer a great character, because she can become a mom. She could become a wife. She could become a mother, rather than always worrying about her next job, always worrying about taking somebody out, which technically over the last, 26 episodes is pretty much been the case, except for her getting shot in the butt. It's not as if she's ever really doing much assassin work that we see. She's supposed to be doing work. She claims that she hasn't done work in a while. But again, the question mark is raised in this episode as she runs into Yuri, and Yuri basically tells her, yeah, I'm good. I'm good, sis. You don't have to worry about taking care of me anymore. I'm a big boy now. Which makes her question. And again, I never really questioned myself. Yeah, technically she's been an assassin this whole time. Yes, mostly because she wanted to take care of Yuri. She took on jobs, she took on all this work because she wanted to raise Yuri. Now, the other side of it is something that she has technically presented to Lloyd before, at least passively brought up with around Lloyd, is the idea that yes, she, like Lloyd, is trying to protect this area. She's trying to protect this country. So it makes sense that despite the fact that she's not raising Yuri anymore, she still do the work because she seems to have a passion for protecting this place that Yuri's in. Now, granted, yes, we all know that Yuri is doing his own jobs in order to protect the country itself. He has his own secrets, but it's a good question mark to bring up in, does Yor even care about doing this anymore? Is the aspect of protecting this country for Yuri that important to her anymore? Because he's now a grown-up, because he's now a big boy, because now he himself can protect himself. So does she need to protect him anymore? That's the other question mark. It does sort of lay into it. But I like this episode because it keeps hitting Yor. As she's going to do her job, yeah, just so happens, Anya and Lloyd, big shock. I actually, for a minute there, I know that they said that they were going to set up things so that Yor could go on this cruise, and under the guise that it's for her job, they're going to set everything up for her. But I thought for a minute there that Lloyd and Anya going to this one raffle place was a part of that. Like they were going to rig that so that Anya wins it, and that's the reason why Yor goes. But then I'm like, no, it's for her job. But yeah, it just so happens that Anya can hear the minds of people and know that the whole raffle is rigged, and she can rig it. That was great. But no, obviously everybody has to go to here. But that, again, kind of plays into it as they're on the way. You do have Yor the entire time going, yeah, I kind of wish that I could enjoy this. I wish... Essentially, what's presented to her is a family vacation, but she can't enjoy it because she's too worried about her job, and she's going to be spending most of the time doing her job. When she's on this cruise, she's going to have to stay with the target, and she can't spend time with Anya and Lloyd and have fun and all that kind of stuff. She has to do her job, and it's, again, kind of weighing on her in the idea that I kind of wish that I didn't have to do that. I wish that I could enjoy this. Okay, maybe, and she poses the question, maybe this will be my last mission. Maybe this one will be the last one. Again, for me, if you ask me, not having read the manga, do I think this is her last mission? No. I honestly don't. And again, I think that plays into the difficulty of what the writer has wrote themselves into. I mentioned this before in the idea that even though I want to see Yor doing her job, they spent too much time throughout the series, this animated series, of Yor just being the chef, the one that's trying to figure out how to cook. Her joke is that she is terrible at cooking and everybody dies when they eat her cooking. Or she's trying to find Anya because Anya ran off somewhere. That's been Yor. And it's been an unfortunate thing because I thought the idea of Yor being an assassin was cool. I wanted to see that. And they weren't showing it to me. But the thing that I kept telling people is that I never thought that they would show her being an assassin anymore. Because, yes, story-wise, she has become a mother, but that's not the reason why she doesn't kill. She does her job just perfectly fine when she does actually do it. The writer has pigeonholed this series into being a wholesome family show. So you can't have, at least once per episode, Yor goes on a job and slits somebody's throat or cleans off her blade. They did it right at the very beginning, and it was like, holy crap, this chick is brutal. She's killing people. But then ever since then, no, we never see blood. We never see her killing people because she's now Yor, the wholesome mom, the mom of Anya. Everybody's happy. Anya's smiling. Everything is wholesome. You can't have murder and assassinations happening every episode. It kills the mood. So the writers sort of pigeonhole themselves into this situation where they can't have Yor do her job. But the reverse is the same as well. And the idea that Yor can't give up her job. Because the story, the joke is that she's an assassin. Yes, maybe way down the road, whenever he decides to, wrap up the manga, yeah, at that point, Yor's no longer an assassin. She becomes a mom, a wife, everybody's happy hunky-dory. But for now, as the series continues on, she has to remain an assassin. Now, again, if you read the manga and it changes, don't say anything. I don't care to know. The comments we don't need it in the comments. Could she? Yeah, I'd be surprised. I'd be super shocked, but I don't think it's happening. Plus, there's the idea that somebody that is an assassin for an organization, you typically can't quit your job. Like, there's a lot of cases where you just technically can't. Now, you could retire at some point, and maybe she could, but you typically can't. But yeah, putting that all aside, I thought it was a super heartwarming episode, really mostly focused around Yor, her struggles, the idea that she kind of thinks that she doesn't want to continue this. Like, she wants to give up her job. She wants to become a wife. And I like at some point the target, I forget what her name is, the mother, Oka, she mentioned at some point when Yor was looking down the hallways and saying that she's got her family there, she's like, but it's all a cover, right? Yeah, it's a cover. It is one of those little sweet moments like, Yor, come on, just say it. But I'd really like it. It is a cover. That is the truth. But it's more than that. I care for these two. And yes, she's technically struggling with, is this my real family? It's always been the struggle throughout the series. And yes, it's another one of those kind of negative aspects that come from series like this where you kind of want them to just, let's just confirm it. Like, just confirm it. But no, they can't. They got to keep the joke going. They can't just confirm it. It's like every rom-com, you can't have them say they love the pairing because they got to drag it out. They got to drag it out for thousands of volumes. It's fine, though. It's honestly one of those series where the dynamic between Lloyd and Yor and their relationship isn't something like, I want it. Yeah, I'd love them to confirm it. But it's not like I'm craving for it. Again, it's kind of one of those things where how they've situated it doesn't really matter to the overall story. It doesn't matter to the overall enjoyment. Yes, now, if we get to like episode 155 and they're still doing that, I'll probably be annoyed by that point. It's just like teasing Master Takagi-san. It's like at some point, it's like, okay, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Okay, come on, please. After so long, please just do it. But no, a lot of the scenes with Yor and Oka was fantastic because it was just kind of a heartbreaking aspect and the idea that this lady, it seems like she's kind of like one of those mob boss moms where they've accepted that that's their life. That's what I got into. I accepted that. She's not blaming anybody else but herself, but it's still that moment where she's like, I just want to get away from this stuff. I've left so much behind, but at the same time, I just want a peaceful life. I want a place for me and my son to just be happy, which I'm assuming Yor is going to make sure that happens. We'll see, though. It seems like they've been ratted out. Yor, it is kind of one of those funny things because it is an aspect that it almost seems like Yor is just being completely thrown off her game, and that's definitely what seems to be happening with the idea of this mother and her son This isn't her normal job, obviously. She doesn't normally protect people. She's normally going out, kill, target. This is a different situation where she's having to stay with somebody, and that person's kind of opening up to them, and she's seeing this relationship that is sort of contrasting her own, and she kind of yearns for that desire that she could be the mother, she could be the wife of this family, and she's sitting in front of a person that is a mother of a son. And so it's completely throwing her off her game, and she's going along with this, oh, well, let's go out and check things out, and it's completely throwing off her entire mission because now she's losing her focus and she's slipping up. Normally, she probably would have checked underneath the chairs, make sure that there's no microphones there, but no, she's too wrapped up in the situation. But yeah, on the other side of the whole thing, yes, just fun Anya moments. Her messing up the raffle, getting back at that dirty raffle, going to the chair. They enter that big hall, and Anya's like, "Hey, Papa, let's look around before it sinks." He's like, "It's not going to sink. What are you talking about? Stop." That was a little bit of funny in Lloyd, and the idea of that, yes, he's kind of in a similar situation where he's told to go there as a vacation. Apparently their organization needs to, I guess, shave off some accusation of overworking. So they want to send him on a vacation, but he keeps thinking about things, targets, who's all here, which political figures are here. Okay, gotta stop. Gotta enjoy the time. That was a lot of fun. The third class, the third class cabinet. Anya was just she liked everything else, but the moment she got to her room, she's like, this is terrible. This is like a prison. But no, she kind of pivoted the moment that she realized she can have an upper bunk. So it works out in the end. But yeah, fantastic episode. And like I said, anytime I can get Yor doing something, I love the Anya episodes. I love the Yor episodes. There's a lot of the Lloyd episodes I love, but yeah, I just love seeing Yor in action. I like seeing this conflict in her. And again, that I don't want this to sound negative, but yes, I do acknowledge the idea that because this is a comedy routine, sometimes I do kind of desire a little bit more out of my characters. I like to get into them, see how they're kind of shifting. I like to see something changing. Even though this is the comedy routine, I like to see things changing. And I think that's mainly because it is a series that is sort of grounded in reality. There's a reality aspect to it. There's a threat here. There's human emotion that they're experiencing. So I want to see Yor being just more than just the, cute, ditzy, seem to be kind of tunnel vision most of the time. I like to see her kind of shift out of that mold. This is my norm. Let me try something else. And I hope that it does something. And again, I don't expect it to actually have it be her last. What I'm assuming is going to happen is that the moment that they finish this mission, she's going to be like, yes, the world's still dangerous. I have now Anya and Lloyd to protect. She might pivot. That might be the pivot. She might pivot from, I need to protect this place because of Yuri, to that, I need to protect this place because of my family. And my family is Lloyd and Anya. That's what I assume is going to happen. So we'll see. But anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure that like button down below, comment, let me know about the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure that subscribe button to get my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support more, I have a Patreon link, tips link, super thanks, membership button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does, and y'all take care.